We're picking every single game all year long and challenging all of you to beat me. Watch till the end. I'll tell you how you can send in your picks to compete for a jersey of choice. So think about who you got. Well, I give you who I got, starting with Thursday Night Football. The Vikings are coming to LA to play the Chargers, who are breaking my heart. The injuries have piled up, but we're getting Joe Alt and Trey Pipkins back this week, hopefully. Carson Wentz is banged up, playing terrible with JJ McCarthy still out. And I've been saying this about the Vikings for the past couple of years. Their defense will kill young quarterbacks, but it will struggle against those veteran quarterbacks that know how to handle these blitzes. I called it with Aaron Rodgers in an upset, and I'm calling it here with Jay Herbo, who has been filthy against the blitz all year when his O-line has been able to pick up the blitz. That's the key, is having our guys back to start picking up these blitzes a little better again. Defensively, their greatest strengths are outside the weapons, but the guy in the pocket can't get it to them without throwing it to the other team. So please, Chargers, don't let Jordan Mason have 150 yards on you in this game. And I think we win it on a short week. Chargers 28, Vikings 24. Next, the Miami Dolphins are going to Atlanta to play the Falcons. And these may be the two most inconsistent teams in sports history. The Falcons one week look like they could be budding Super Bowl contenders. They look like a team that could go as far as their quarterback will take them. Then the next week, they suck. The Dolphins are pretty terrible, but there'll be random quarters where they go off. Random drives where they look unstoppable. And then Tua throws an interception or takes a bad sack. This Tua versus Mike McDaniel thing is getting kind of weird. The Dolphins need to clean house and get everyone out of there. But I will go ahead and keep them out there to keep losing games so you can keep moving up in the draft order if I was Miami. And they are the dirty team with the dirty owner who's been busted for doing things like tampering in the past. So maybe they are half tanking. Maybe Stephen Ross did give an offer to Mike McDaniel that he couldn't refuse. I do know this is probably Tua's last year with the team. And Tyreek. And a bunch of other guys possibly. When Miami has played at their best this year, it's still ended in a loss. So I think even if they play their best in this game, they lose. Falcons 34, Dolphins 20. The Jetsusck suck. Tyrod Taylor is coming in. Glenn finally made the choice to bench Field despite some reluctancy. Last week he was saying, why would I bring in Tyrod Taylor when we have Justin Fields? You don't bench Justin Fields after one bad game. Apparently you do after two bad games. It has been pitiful ever since the first 2 weeks for Justin Fields. It basically happens every team he goes to. On the other side of the ball, the Bengals found something in this Joe Flacco trade. It's added a spark. The first 2 quarters were slow, but the second 2 quarters of that Green Bay game, they really turned it on. Joe Flacco won those 2 quarters technically on the scoreboard and played well. Way better than Jake Browning. Then you go to the Pittsburgh game and the Bengals upset them. Defense looked terrible as always, but their offense was able to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense and pull out a 3-point 33-30 win. 6 straight great quarters out of Joe Flacco or the whole terrible season out of the Jets. I'm gonna bank on your 6 quarters, Joe. Don't do me wrong. I got the Bengals winning this one 38-17. We got Cleveland at New England next. I just wanted to say that because it rhymes. And the biggest challenge for the Patriots obviously is the Browns D-line. It's every single week. How well can the Browns D-line game wreck the game? That's gonna determine if Cleveland has any chance to win. You played the Dolphins last week. You got a good matchup with that D-line. You force a bunch of turnovers and you win. This week, I think Drake May's been moving well this year in the pocket, well enough for me to trust him against that Browns D-line. The Browns can run the crap out of the football, and I believe that's only going to get better as they stack on it throughout the year. But the Patriots have the defense, and they have the culture setting behind Vrabel to slow down that rushing attack led by a rookie running back. I got the Patriots winning it 21-10. Next, we got a weird rematch from just a couple weeks ago. Remember when the Giants upset the Eagles? They play them again this week, this time in Philly. I don't know what the schedule makers are doing. It's not Groundhog's Day, but let's see what happens in this game. The team that's going to win this is which team can go and break down the tape from a few weeks ago, improve on where they struggled, and go out there and execute. And I think that Brendan Graham unretirement gives the Eagles just a little bit more juice that they need to get over the edge. Jalen Hurts played a lot better game this last week. A.J. Brown started to get hyped up, getting some targets finally. And now you bring Brendan Graham back. That's just like a bit of motivation that this team needed. Morale was down, and now morale might be back to Super Bowl level. Morale. Let's just keep that the key. They still have some key injuries in their secondary that I think keeps this game close. But with the Giants kind of lacking that receiver, they've been relying on some interesting plays. They've been relying on the group to bring it all together in Malik Neighbors' absence. I don't know if they're going to be able to fully take the Eagles down again. So I'm going to go with Philly to win it 23-14. Although, like I said, I think it's close throughout the game. The Eagles pull away at the end. Next, Bills going on the road to Carolina to play the Panthers. And this is unfortunate. Panthers had been red hot, heating up. Bills, ice cold. Back-to-back losses. This was looking like it's going to be one of those something's got to give games. The Bills, the better team with higher expectations, that's struggling, or the Panthers Panthers' hot streak comes to an end. But Bryce Young went down with an ankle injury. I swear, man, this guy has been through it all in his NFL career and just can't put it all together consistently for a full season. Whether it's the coach, whether it's the receivers, whether it's the offensive line, he goes through his own cold streaks. The defense, you name it. Each week, each time the Panthers find some momentum, something stops them in their tracks and ruins their season. I hope Bryce Young can get back out there, but a high ankle sprain does not sound good. Andy Dalton's going to be in this game. And yeah, Andy could probably keep you in this game against the Bills. They're going to need Rico Dowdle to win this game. They're going to need Chuba Hubbard to win this game, and the Bills know that. Bills defense has no toughness. It's a lot like the Ravens defense. It's a lot like the Dolphins defense. They cannot make a tackle. Their rush defense is going to struggle against Rico Dowdle, but I'm going to trust the Bills to lock in. You guys may be shocked by how close I have this game. I actually have the Panthers covering. I got the Bills winning it though, 31-27. Andy Dalton just doesn't have enough to beat Josh Allen out. And Bills, I just can't imagine them going to a third straight loss. I'm still watching these games like, damn, should be dominating, and they just aren't quite. Next, Bears are going to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and it looks like Lamar Jackson might be still out after the bye. He hasn't practiced yet as the time of recording this video. Obviously, if he's playing, that changes my pick a ton. And this is usually where the Bears season completely starts to fall apart. They first start off with the 2 losses, then they win 4 straight games, and then you know what happens after that to the Bears. But I'm going to believe in Ben Johnson, especially with how bad the Ravens defense has been. All the tape and bad tape they put on there for Ben Johnson to key in on and take advantage of. Defensively, the Bears are playing a lot better. I believe they haven't given up more than 24 points since that big 50 burger they gave up to Detroit. And this is a sneaky landing spot for one Max Crosby. His name's been in trade rumors throughout the league. I think Dallas was interested. With all that being said, if Snoop Huntley's in the game, you just got to stop Derrick Henry. I'm going with the Bears to win it, 27-10. Up next, the 49ers going on the road to Houston. And if you ask me this at the beginning of the season, you tell me it's going to be Mac Jones in there against CJ Stroud. You tell me they're not going to have Fred Warner. You tell me they're not going to have Nick Bosa. There's no way in hell I will pick the Niners. These two teams are like looking in a mirror. The Texans are literally trying to be the AFC's Niners. These coaches very familiar with each other. But what George Kittle does for this 49ers rushing attack cannot really be explained. The difference between having him on the field and not having him on the field was night and day. The Niners were winning games before, but it wasn't in convincing dominant fashion by way of the run especially. And on the other side of the ball, the Texans have not been able to run it very well, not been able to get it going on the ground consistently, and now Nico Collins is out. So all you're going to see is more loaded boxes. Less fear you're going to beat them down the field. Roster for roster, the Texans are way more talented. But team for team right now, this is an example of why football is America's greatest sport, because anything can happen, and it's not really about which team's more talented. Sometimes it's about which team is more cohesive. It's the 49ers right now, 17-14 San Fran. We got another rivalry game here between the Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints. The Bucs are 5-2 coming off that loss. And man, this is one of those teams that just keeps getting more and more and more injured throughout the season. I hate to see it. There's been the Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, my Chargers. These are all potential Super Bowl contending teams at the beginning of the season that were ruined by injuries. Hopefully they all can get healthy and get back in the hunt, and I'm hoping for the Buccaneers as well. I think the Bucs will be steaming from that bad game versus Detroit. They will be heated. And if Baker can get his throws down, he's been overthrowing a lot of passes this season. I think even that Detroit game would have been a lot closer. They'll definitely win this game against the Saints. I got Baker's Bucs 31-24. Long term, like I said, I'm worried about them. They need a healthy Emeka Ibuka, and they need a healthy Bucky Irving back. Another rivalry game. The Tennessee Titans going on the road to play the red-hot Indianapolis Colts, and GG's Colts fans. The Colts should be undefeated. Remember, their one loss came because A.D. Mitchell fumbled while going into the end zone. That would have won the game for them. That was like a 14 flip for the Colts in a 7-point loss. And the Titans on the other side should have all losses. Their only win came when the Cardinals returner turned running back because of injuries, dropped the ball at the 1-yard line. The exact same thing A.D. Mitchell did. It's almost unbelievable. To me, what I've seen from the Titans this year and how bad they are, there's no reason to take the Titans as upset of the week ever again, which means don't pick them the rest of the season. I would love to see them also kickstart their rebuild and trade some guys. Jeffrey Simmons to the Chargers. Give me Colts by way of blowout. I'll take it 35-7. Titans won scores, a Danny Dimes pick 6. Next, we got Monday Night Football in a shorter week because it's a bye week. Hopefully we could beat our record from last week. We won 9-6. Washington Commanders going on the road to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. And the Commanders are another team that just keeps getting injured at full strength. I think they could keep up with the Chiefs. I think they could beat the Chiefs on the road. But with Debo out, Terry McLaurin out, other guys already out, now Dorrance Armstrong, one of their best pass rushers on an already kind of terrible defense, is out. Jaden Daniels is still banged banged up. He got injured this year. I think the Commanders are on the downward spiral, even though they just beat my Chargers. I know they got a ground game going with Bill, and the Chiefs have started to get their rush defense together. The Chiefs have started to get their offense together. The Chiefs just got a huge confidence boost from the trash-ass Raiders last week. So I'm going to go with KC to win it 24-14. Come on, Chargers. We have to win. And my upset of the week has to come true. But first, huge shout out to today's video sponsor, MyBookie. MyBookie has been sponsoring the Mike's Pickems Challenge all season long and giving my audience a fun way to try it out. The overs have been hitting like crazy, and we've been cashing in. But this week for Mike's MyBookie Parlay of the Week, I got some picks for you from this ticket. This parlay is hitting this weekend. First pick, I got my Chargers bouncing back. The 49ers know the Texans too well and are playing too good not to take them out. Them Dallas Cowboys ending the Denver Broncos hot streak, with the Philadelphia Eagles getting revenge on the Giants for a few weeks ago. And like I said, MyBookie is giving you guys a special promotion to try this out. You can copy my parlay or make your own completely risk-free up to $500. So your first bet, if you lose, just recharges to your account and you can try again. But if you win, you get to keep your winnings. Make sure you use the promo code NFLMike on MyBookie for this promotion, and it helps tell MyBookie that I sent you. Thank you again to MyBookie for sponsoring the Mike's Pickems Challenge this year, which is a great time to talk about my game of the week and my upsets of the week and Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys are going to Denver to play the Broncos, and the Cowboys offense is on absolute fire. I know the defense is hot garbage, but the Broncos can't keep getting away with this. They shouldn't have won that Jets game. They shouldn't have won that Giants game, and they shouldn't have won that Eagles game. Thieves. If you have a slow start versus this Dallas offense, you'll be down by 20 again, and you won't come back-to-back weeks. Now, every Dallas game's been tight, and every Denver game's been tight, so I got it 35-31 Cowboys. My other upset of the week, the Green Bay Packers are road favorites against the Pittsburgh Steelers. On Aaron Rodgers' revenge day, I know the Packers are 5-1-1, and the Steelers are coming off a loss, but also you gave the Steelers, a veteran team, extra day of rest, couple extra days to get ready for this game. Green Bay barely beat Arizona with Jacoby Brissett in there. And I know I kind of called it last week, and I don't fully believe in Jordan Love either. He's been up and down, wildly inconsistent throughout his career. So I think this game will be way closer than anyone expects. But I got the Packers barely winning it, 21-20. It's because I don't fully believe in this Green Bay offense. And if the Steelers can slow Josh Jacobs and slow the run, which they have the front seven to do, they can cover up how bad that secondary is just enough to get this upset at home somehow. If the odds change, I got the Dallas Cowboys as my backup upset of the week, but I got the Steelers winning it 27-24 and Rodgers completing his full circle around the NFL sun. After this win, he'll have beaten every single team, including his old ones, in the NFL. That's my picks. Now go send in your picks. It's as simple as going to my page and clicking the link you see there for Mike's Pickems Challenge. All followers are welcome to join for free, and every week I post the winner like last week's winners. Just send me a message with proof that these are your picks to claim your prize, which is a jersey of choice, any player in the history of the NFL. But who will win this week's challenge? I will. I'm going to be back next week on actual Halloween with this belt as week 8's champ. Even though we haven't won a single week against my followers all season. Who will win every single game of week 8? I don't know. Here's the picks, but I guess sooner rather than later, the ball definitely won't lie. Wait, should I wear a new costume for next week's Pickems Challenge or the same one?